So we've got the Ultimate Series Solstice once again. These are the quarterfinals. I did just mess up and I did the whole series between Refight for Tupac and Tromso Gutter, and I was calling it the semifinals until the end of the second game going, I don't understand why I did that, but I did. So I'm stupid, I guess. But whatever. These are in fact the quarterfinals, and I've checked and it doesn't look like any of the semifinal or final replays are available, so it doesn't look like I'll be able to finish off coverage of this tournament. I'm a little disappointed because I've never covered a finals before, because obviously Honcast and Colecast take all the finals because they should. Because they're a lot more prominent than me, and there's no point in me recasting them. So I don't. It's too bad looking for my first one. Oh well, maybe I'll do it for the Ultimate Series Bubbles, which I will cover. Anyway, Pestilence, Ophelia, Kraken, Keeper of the Forest being taken out here in the initial banning stage. Nothing too surprising there. I think once again, Kraken not really on my list of heroes I'd ban there, but does seem to be taken out fairly consistently, and I can certainly understand the reasoning why. So nothing to comment really on the bans, nothing particularly surprising really. It will be Wretched Hag and Torturer as the first two picks here for the Legion side, so not really giving up too much between those two selections. Always a nice thing to do, as they both provide quite a bit of damage, a lot of versatility in terms of what they can do. Torturer obviously a good mid support, does very well when paired with an active hero there, a good zoning support with that impalement. Just generally a very strong support hero, almost certainly will be seen in that role. Wretched Hag could theoretically be played in the short lane. I suspect for some reason we'll see a Suicide Hag, but no reason why that has to be the case. We could certainly see Torturer Mid Hag in the short lane. And as a result, nothing really being given away here by this Legion side, and I like that. Obviously two strong heroes that work pretty well together as well. Got a stun, got a slow, got some plenty of magical burst and initiation. Parasite following up on that magical burst and initiation theme, as they have plenty of gang potential so far here. Some carry a little bit of push with Torturer's impalement, so at this point probably looking for strong initiation, something in addition to that Wretched Hag. Maybe something with the semi-carry potential, Drunken Master is being left soft pick. I think that's a great idea. Raveners on the board would also do very well in that sort of situation. Pebbles is here, certainly could do it. Actually, Ravener getting picked up by the other team. Meraxis available, he could be that type of hero. So still some options here for the Legion side. I think they should also go for a true Suicide and not that Hag. Hag can do well in the Suicide, but it seems a little bit more hit and miss. Sometimes she does well, sometimes she's terrible. A little more reliable in that short lane. Can certainly carry, so not like you're losing too much if you put that Hag short. Hellborn team, meanwhile, picking up Tempest, Bubbles, and Ravener, all three strong heroes. And I like the Ravener on top of Tempest and Bubbles, just because Ravener is one of those heroes. It's like, if I keep attacking you, you're gonna die really fast. And Bubbles and Tempest are like, he's gonna keep attacking you, because the Kelp Field and Tempest Ultimate, that's exactly what they do. So strong series of picks there from the Hellborn side as well. Both teams looking like they're shaping up quite well. Hellborn perhaps having the team fight advantage, and maybe a little bit of a push advantage as well. They have perhaps stronger initiation, I think, but certainly stronger carries on the Legion side, and that's probably about it. I think the team fight, the push, I think the Legion gank's about even. A little more burst damage on Legion, a little better actual initiation heroes on the Hellborn. So I think I'm favoring the Hellborn at this point, but it's going to depend also on their last two picks, because they have some room to screw this up. If they decide not to go anything harder than the Ravener carry, then that could be a pretty huge issue. Like if they pick, something, they go Bubbles middle and a support and a true Suicide, like Grix or something like that, or Pharaoh's banned, but I was thinking that was a possibility. That would be an issue for me, but we'll see what they do. Have plenty of options to not do that. I think an actual carry would be good here. So bans are out. Engineer, Moon Queen, and Sandwraith getting taken out by Znawi here, as they know Hellborn need a support, and they're probably looking for a short laner as well. Moon Queen, Sandwraith obviously fit very well with that team, as does Engineer. Lots more ulti synergy, lots more lockdown. So tons of good bans there from Znawi. Rally, Corrupted Disciple, and Pharaoh getting taken out by the Hellborn team. Obviously Pharaoh mostly for that hook. Certainly, obviously for the Suicide potential as well, as Pharaoh's a strong Suicide, and obviously a pretty hard counter to Tempest with that Wrath of the Pharaoh preventing the Tempest ultimate. Corrupted Disciple and Rally also being taken out. Rally, a solid initiator, so certainly would fit this team very well, either in the Suicide or mid lane. And Corrupted Disciple, a definitely strong short lane carry. I don't think he's as adept here, just because that would force Hag to the Suicide lane, and there isn't enough lockdown really for Corrupted to get a bunch of damage out in team fights. The Hellborn would basically just run away once the conduit got up. So Perhaps not a hero I would think that would fit this lineup, but I mean, he's a strong hero, so ban him if you want. Not really going to be super objectionable to me, but whatever. And the last 2 picks here for the Legion side are Warbeast and Prisoner 945. So lane's pretty clear here. Warbeast will play Suicide. Prisoner and Torturer in the middle. Wretched Hag in the jungle. Parasite in the short lane, excuse me. And Parasite in the jungle. So strong lanes from everything. Purple Rexar is that Testy?
Let's get it on.
Is this Testy? Sorry, I'm gonna go Alt Tab for a second and look if. This might be Testy. That's not something you want to Google. Okay. Alright, I don't know if that's, I think that might be one of his sub-accounts. I don't know. I'll have to talk, maybe I'll talk to somebody else, but possible. And also, I now have, I'm going to formally encourage you not to Google Purple Rexar Testy, because you'll get a lot of results about purple testicles. You don't want that. Why do you want that? Unless, maybe, I don't know, maybe you do want that. God, I hope not. But, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm desperate for viewers, man. If that's what you're into, go for it. I'm not going to judge. Screw it. So it looks like actually they're gonna mess with this a little bit. They are going to send the Suicide Hag and the Warbeast short lane. So this is going to certainly surprise the Hellborn team, but I'm not really like it. Doctor up here against the Hag, as I assume he will be solo, should be mostly alright. Hag doesn't really have the initiation of the burst damage to kill Doctor until they both hit 6, and then once Doctor hits 6, he can just run away. And then, of course, once Doctor hits 6, he can probably also kill the Hag, because Blink is beaten by ludicrous speed. Not really feeling his lanes from the Legion side as a result. In general, they're pretty strong, but not the best thing. The other thing you have to consider is Parasite would be much better paired with the Hag down bottom, because coming into gank this Bubbles would be a lot easier if Parasite could come with the burst damage. On top of Hag's burst damage. Now, Warbeast does not have any burst damage, so this is likely going to result in precisely 0 kills for Warbeast, and for that matter, Bubbles can win this lane kind of easily. As just doing what he's doing now, harass, harass, harass. Warbeast just has 3 tangos and a health pot pool to him, so he's got a fair bit of regen, but so does Bubbles with the same. And this is going to be a bit of an issue, because until they hit 6, Warbeast is gonna be vulnerable to Bubbles' burst damage, and once they do hit 6, his ultimate may not save him, because Kelpfield is a consistent pickup against these Warbeasts to stop them from being able to run around like crazy. And rear remote, nothing's going on. So I'm really not liking these lanes here, honestly. To be totally frank, Hag can lose to Bubbles pretty easily as well, even the Suicide roll, where when Bubbles is the Suicide, so it's not like that would be that much better, but this situation, they're not going to be able to force Bubbles out of lane. Bubbles is going to get farm that's just fine, and has a really, really strong possibility of winning this lane against Warbeast. So, not a big fan of it, and we'll see how it affects the Legion team. Mid lane, meanwhile, Master and Ravener, a very strong combination, especially against Prisoner. This was the original thing to do. You pick up Ravener. This is what Lions did when they beat SG with that Ravener. The first time we really saw Ravener in the competitive scene, SG was hailing Prisoner, going, "This hero is so good," and Lions was basically like, "We're gonna pick Ravener a bunch. If you hook that Ravener, he will ball lightning in your face and kill you." So Prisoner's gonna have to be really, really careful about this lane, and Hellborn should really also honestly win this one as well. They have 2 stuns. They have a lot of damage coming out, and Prisoner needs to be a little bit careful about that. Charge shot there into Ball Lightning and the Master's Goo, so Prisoner going to take a ton of damage here, and once again, that's what happens. Now he's way low, only has 1 tree left. He's going to have to ferry himself some regen. Will have a bottle and 50 gold, so perhaps he'll just wait for that. But, you know, Torture goes off to pick up nothing. I don't know, did he get the rune and not do it? Or was it maybe a regen or something like that? And that's going to be an issue. Like, this is not a favorable lane here for Prisoner. So far, 2 lanes already go in favor of Legion, of Hellborn, and perhaps the 3rd one as well, as Doctor can absolutely beat this Hag. Obviously level 4 already, so doing better on levels, doing better on CS at 262 gold per minute compared to 157 on that wretched Hag. And it's Rexcar Vroom is one of Testes alt accounts. I think Purple Rexar is somebody else. I don't know who it is. Meanwhile, we have 3 jumping onto this Ravener, is going to die thanks to the Shackle. Parasite coming in from the side, and a relatively easy kill. Chain Reactions then also on top of Master, and he's in some trouble. Leech is there, 1 more auto attack, and Sequence gets a double tap. Infests the Hell Cannon, and will be fine to run away. So well played there from Legion. I still don't really like their lanes, but the Parasite gank very effective, no doubt. Up top, Hag taking a bunch of damage, and meanwhile on bottom, this is what I was talking about. Let's just watch the whole thing. As this Warbeast's like, oh, I'm gonna come at you. Bubbles has so much health over him. 1 more auto attack, and that's it. Warbeast Wolf gonna try to chase him down. Probably won't be enough, though. We'll eat the tree and should be alright. So gonna be a kill there for Bubbles, as just that's what happens in this lane a lot. Like I've seen this lane before, and Bubbles just wrecked the Warbeast. So Jarl Jungen on that Warbeast sitting at 200 gold per minute. Poor baby on Bubbles has 270. So despite the 2 kills in middle, things are relatively even. And a 2-to-1 hero kill advantage here for the Legion side. Parasite has 430 gold per minute, which is pretty damn funny. But Doctor, Tempest, and Bubbles now out-farming the rest of the Hellborn of the Legion side. And now Prisoner's in some trouble. Gonna take a bottle sip there. Will be alright. Has a few more plus some pooled regen, and a health pot gonna help him out as well. We'll actually take the invis, that's why he's not being attacked. Up top, no doubt, Doctor winning this lane is level 6, Hag is level 5, so she gets delivered her bottle here. That's going to help her out a lot. Doctor sitting on 1200 gold here, presumably just going to buy Steam Boots at once. On bottom, Parasite looking for a jump onto Bubbles. Is level 6, has the face hug. There it is. Leech, and going to shell surf away. Will be alright. No, there goes the face hug as well. Ghost Marchers, a couple more auto attacks. There's the Kelp Field and a health pot. He should be alright. So Bubbles surviving the burst there. Health pot gets knocked off, but it's going to be enough. Parasite perhaps looking for reinitiation, and Bubbles will be okay. So Jarl Jungen on this Warbeast will be able to get some CS now, 250 gold per minute, finally out farming that Bubbles. But this isn't really what you want. You don't want your short laner needing a gank to be able to survive their charge shot, and a hook will miss, as the ball lightning already went out. Looking like we're gonna have a race for bot rune. Prisoner hook is back. We've got Bubbles here as well. Gonna grab this regen. And actually it's still on him as he silences that prisoner. Didn't throw the shell, so probably could have. Parasite. I was almost like Pesty. I'm like, there's no Pesty in this game. Parasite coming in off to the side and is sitting here perhaps looking for a jump. So if Prisoner lands a hook here, they will follow it up. Hook there missing. Up top, Hag get a blink away with good reason. Did a bunch of damage to that Doctor, but he just gets a health pot. Has finished those Steam Boots. And slight gold and experience lead here for the Legion side, as on bot, Bubbles taking a bunch of damage. Good about the Kelp Field on Warbeast. And now he's like, what do I do? Health pot there, and Warbeast wears off, and he's going to keep chasing? No. So, Bubbles obviously very hard to kill if you're Warbeast because of that Kelp Field, but does force him out of lane. So Warbeast doing a pretty solid job actually of winning this lane against Bubbles. I've seen it go a lot worse. Still not going very well, as Bubbles is 235 gold per minute, which is quite good for a suicide. But it could be a lot worse. Doctor in a jump bot, looking for an initiation onto this Warbeast. This should be a pretty easy kill now. Obviously no ultimate available. There's going to be a little bit opposite charges into the magnetic contraption and an easy kill. Parasite off to the side, looking for a jump on up Doctor, but without support he's not going to get this. Leech goes off, and then he's just like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I got you. He got him. Showed him. Bubble's going to come top. Look for a jump onto this Hag. Actually jumps back in. That was an interesting decision. Glacial Blast and the ultimate, probably not even necessary, but will be plenty to lock him down. So I don't know what the hell that blink was from Hag, but it was a bad one. And going to use the elementals to push in this lane also. Probably shouldn't have done as many auto attacks as they did, and then they would have had the elemental split, but I don't like it when my teammate, like if I'm playing Tempest, don't attack the creeps, because then I can maybe get enough attacks off to split my elementals and push this tower a lot faster. Now they do split, but much lower on their respawn, their life timer now. Reasonable chance they'll still get this tower. There go the elementals, should respawn them. Yep, and that's going to be a tower kill up top. So first tower goes in favor of the Hellborn with Tempest. Obviously their pushing power is pretty solid with those elementals. Warbeast on the Legion side providing plenty of push there as well. So Legion perhaps a little bit more just because their building damage is better. Elementals are strong pushers, but the Warbeast Wolves plus the Impalement, Hook going in completely missing everything, as Parasite has a Wild Hunter, so he is invis. Seeing a port coming in here from Doctor though, and they're going to see what's going on. Jump onto Prisoner as he puts the ultimate dot. They're going to actually, it is going to go off. They're going to try to get him. They do get Repulsor as Parasite was obviously in the right place at the right time. Impalement going off. They're going to try to do something. Bubbles coming in here with a Shell Surf Song in the Sea. Has Kelp Fill, gets it onto 2. Torture going to be the focus here. Will drop in a second, but Ravener actually dies first. Now Prisoner perhaps on the next list. Tempest coming in off to the side. They're going to try to chase him down here. Shell Surf is there, will pick up Parasite, so that's him being a 2 for 2. As Hellborn, or Legion probably came out on top, Glacial Blast on Hag. Not going to be able to do anything about it. Legion, I think, certainly coming out on top, sorry about in that, as the Doctor gets destroyed, along with the Ravener, in exchange just for the Parasite and support Torture. Nonetheless, Hellborn have taken a gold and experience advantage. That tower kill on top certainly helping quite a bit. Warbeast's going to push this bottom lane a little bit. Having some free farm down here, up to 285 gold per minute. Still below Parasite Keeper, or Parasite Tempest and Doctor, as well as Bubbles, his old lane partner. So things looking pretty good here for the Hellborn, as not only do they have the late game, they have late game. I don't think they have the late game. It's a pretty solid toss-up, in fact. This Warbeast is going to be difficult to deal with a little bit, but they have a couple of many highly mobile heroes, really, and a few different ways of locking him down with the Tempest Ultimate and the Kelp Field. So whether it'll actually matter that he's as mobile as he is a definite question. Between the Bubbles' high mobility with Portal Key and the Shell Surf plus the Ludicrous Speed, Tempest presumably eventually getting a Portal Key, Ravener just being fast as hell if he builds up charges, you know, it may not matter that Warbeast is running around at haste speed, because he may not be able to catch anybody, he may not be able to run away from anybody with all the disables that they have. And they do have quite a few. Hag, in the meantime, of course, in that suicide roll, just at 185 gold per minute, so she's going to have some time. So she's going to need some time to recover. Leech getting thrown out, as well as a Shackle. There's a Ball Lightning and the charge shot on a Prisoner. Will hit the hook on a Master, actually. Going to put the ultimate out. Will kill Master immediately. Ravener in a lot of trouble with the double damage. Leech actually getting the last hit, so that's a 2 for nothing in favor of Legion. Well played. And still in favor of Hellborn in terms of total resources, but nice gank there nonetheless. Off the side, Torture perhaps looking for something to grab Bubbles. And up top, Doctor's just free farming. We'll see what he goes for as his first item. It looks like he's going to get a Hellflower. I don't like that very much. On bot, jump onto Bubbles. He puts the Kelp Field in the 2. Repulsor's porting in here. Nice take cover on the chain reactions. Going to probably try to get this Warbeast here. Pulls him in with the opposite charges. Lots of ability to chase, of course. But he's so damn fast. Instead, he's going to turn it on Torture and kill him. As if the Warbeast ultimate had worn off a little bit earlier, they would have had him. But Doctor not having quite enough mana to continue chasing that high speed and high health Warbeast. They still get a pick. So that's nicely done to them. So at this point, Legion perhaps thinking that they just need to make it through the mid-game. They have decent enough mid-game. Parasite, Prisoner, and Hag have a decent enough mid-game. The issue is, of course, Hag's not quite as powerful as an actual right-click hero. She's just a bursty hero until she gets items. much like Parasite. And on Hellborn, they've got more of a right-click threat, sustained damage in those team fights in Ravener, and the similar burst from Bubbles. Plus, Doctor will actually do quite a bit in the mid-game. He is so difficult to lock down, and then the Tempest Ultimate is an omnipresent threat. Bot lane Prisoner pushing it in, Shell Surf goes off, and snipes him a bit, little bit of anti-push there, always nice. The other thing you have to consider is Hellborn's anti-push is very strong with the Master Goo and the Shell Surf and Song of the Sea from Bubbles. Plenty of ease in cleaning up creep waves, and Legion does have building damage, unlike some teams that go like, oh, I gotta go Keeper, I go Tempest, so I'm reliant on minions to do extra damage to buildings. Legion obviously have the Impalement from Torture as well as the Warbeast Wolves, which are minions, but perhaps a little more difficult to kill than a lot of them. Up there, gonna try to hit Rab, not gonna happen. As 4 heroes are grouped up here for the Hellborn side. Looking for something. Tempest's gonna send his elementals off to the side. Ward of Sight will spot them and they despawn. 14-minute rune is just 10 seconds or so away. Bit of a passive phase here. Tempest's going to come in middle and just show himself, be like, alright, I'm going to straight up push this. Once again, let the elementals attack the creep wave. Stop it. Because then they would have split here and they would have done tons more damage to this tower. Red Ward going down there will counter the Ward of Sight from the Legion. Despawn on the Tempest elementals. And Tempest will in fact head back into the jungle. Warbeast Wolves off to the side. Not really sure why. Ace Rune balled up here by Prisoner. Okay, on the creeps. We'll let him farm in a little bit more safety. On bottom, Warbeast using his Wolves a little bit to push in this tower. It is just below half, but can still do quite a lot of damage as Warbeast Wolves just destroy towers. Torture off to the side looking for something. 2 ports coming in. Keltfield goes on to Warbeast, looking to see if he'll take that stun. He will, just barely taking some of the Shell Surf. Opposite charges there, going to be on top of the Glacial Blast, and Warbeast's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Facehug is there, onto Dr. Repulsor. They're going to try to put as much as they can, but Doctor jumping back in here, looking for the last auto attack on Warbeast. Not going to find it, and now Doctor's out of mana. He's in trouble. Prisoner actually going to go off to the side for the ultimate, as Znawi on that Torturer falls. Back blast onto a couple, and Bubble's going to fall in the background. So Warbeast survives, but they do get the kill on Doctor, and now onto Bubbles. Prisoner in some trouble. Master going off to the side as Parasite's looking to kill this. Nice ball lightning off to the side. Going to help him. He's still going to die. Oh god, no he's not. Oh my god. Hag finally cleaning up with the hook. With the blink, and then the hook not going to matter as Master dies. So 4 for nothing there. Parasite chasing things down, and actually he should probably not do this because he's going to fall. A little bit too much aggression there, but Prisoner should be able to kill this tower. Glyph goes out actually. And he probably could just man up and tank that, but will instead choose to push this in with the creep wave. Very strong fight there for Legion. They took 2 for 4, and they'll get a bot tower as well. As Warbeast was just able to survive that Doctor, who dove pretty damn deep for him. And obviously not the correct play in the end. Doctor gonna jump here out of this Torture, and he's just totally screwed. Nothing you can do about that. Warbeast off to the side, looking to do some Ancients here. They are triple stacked, and this isn't really something that Warbeast does particularly well. You can do Ancients just fine, but tripled Ancients not so much. As you're probably looking for Hag and or Prisoner to come up there with him. Peek on Prisoner. Meanwhile, on bot, Bubbles dies to this Parasite. Actually, somehow saw him over there. The Codex finishing him off. Prisoner yelling about things. I'm not sure what.
Get back here.
I don't know why. Went back, clicked down there, and it yelled about how Prisoner was free at last. Hellborn going to push in this mid tower, should get it pretty easily, despite the glyph going off here. Hag cleaning up the elementals, but Goo going downs now. He can also help out on the defense, so this should be a deny, but will definitely be a tower kill. And there's the deny, apparently from Parasite. Okay. They cheated. That's always funny. So what that is if you, as Parasite, take over anything really, it can be a ballista, just easier. When the shot is in the air, if you consume the creep, the shot belongs to nothing, and it kills the tower and doesn't give any gold. So deny gold is usually half, but Hellborn got 0 for that tower. I believe that was supposed to be fixed, but I guess it isn't. Because that's been around for a while. I'm like, I was waiting for the deny to pop up and it didn't, but yeah, that's what happened right there. So good play really there from Sequence, taking advantage of a bug, really. I mean, that is definitely a bug. But hey, it's a pretty substantial amount of gold that you save there, something like 1,000 with the team. And that would have given Hellborn a gold lead, but it does not. Doctor can clean up the creep wave up here. Has his second Arcana, obviously working on the third for the Hellflower. So, I mean, there are a couple of targets here on the Legion side that will eat a Hellflower, and it'll be really painful for them. Hag and Warbeast mainly, I think, as they just want to be able to get their Blink and Ult off, respectively. Nullstone on Tempest. Just to stop the Parasite, I guess. Is he just going to go Nullstone Shrunken and figure that's probably the best thing to do? The hook might also stop it. I don't know, actually. 340 physical damage. Speaking of which, he's using that to farm now. Drags all enemies it hits along the way. Pulls enemies over cliffs and through objects. I think that will go through Shrunken. I'm not sure if it'll go through Shrunken. Meanwhile, Parasite going to jump onto this Master, and we'll kill him with the Codex. Takes the Kelp Field here. Just going to pour it out, though, and not going to be enough time for Doctor to jump in here. So Parasite will be fine on bottom. Illusion Rune grab. Ball Lightning actually eaten by the illusions, but Torture still in a lot of trouble off here. Takes the Glacial Blast and will die, no question. Hag grabs look. Actually, Prisoner jumps in and picks off that Rab as he took a ton of damage. Actually, oh, sorry, it was Hag that got the kill there. Prisoner's ultimate, though. Yelling about how he's free at last. We get it. You're free at last. So a bit of a lull phase here. Really, it hasn't been that much action recently anyway. Off to the side, Bubbles jumping on the... Parasite jumping on the Bubbles with the takeover, obviously doing something to stop some spells coming out. Torture is... That's the illusion. Yeah, it's like... Looks sort of real. You couldn't see the greeniness. That is the real Torture running around here in middle. And the illusion will despawn. Ancient's now finally being cleared up by Hag and Prisoner. Okay, so apparently that doesn't hook the magic ones. So maybe that won't stop the Tempest ultimate, even if he's shrunken. But that's going to be a lot of build-up. Nullstone and Shrunken Head. He's already farming pretty well, 376 gold per minute. Nullstone's an expensive item. And really, it's only going to stop Parasite. Like, I guess the Haunt, as actually speaking of which, Hag drops off top. Jump in from Doctor, and there's the Hellflower and the pullback, and just down. Apparently, if I just jump anywhere else after moving. It'll yell I'm free at last. Parasite now trying to pick off this. Wow, they do get the kill. So that's definitely not worth it. Losing Doctor for Hag, not a great trade. Hag's finally starting to do some stuff. That is 300 gold per minute, but 370 here on that Doctor, second highest farm in the game, excuse me, behind Tempest. But out farming everybody on the Legion team, and that's not really a great thing, as now Prisoner will be able to catch up. So late game potential obviously all over this Legion side, and they're all farming pretty well, 300 or so gold per minute on everybody. Maybe more, maybe less, but they're all in that 300 more range. Really? Hellborn side not doing quite as well. That Ravener is a little bit down in the dumps at 233, but both Tempest and Doctor farming quite well. So we'll see what each side seems to do. It seems like they're both content to Rice, sort of figuring that they need items, and they're both right about that. I think Doctor in particular and Ravener need a couple items if they want to start fighting. The issue is that Bubbles is going to become less effective, Parasite's going to become less effective, but not as fast as Bubbles will. So I'm a little concerned about Hellborn right now. The only thing that I'll say in their defense is they've got Tempest. So, you know, one good Tempest ultimate, and all of a sudden this whole game changes. Parasite taking over a War Beast Wolf there. That's some nice synergy. Obviously, as the Wolf is invisible. Excuse me. Props. Oh shoot. Looking for a jump onto this Ravener. Actually hit something. Prisoner going to jump on this Ravener instead with the ultimate. Ravener gets pulled back in, and despite the Master's Call, easy kill. Bat Blast totally unnecessary, but Legion side going to get the hell out of there after that. Both ports going off. Doctor running in here for something, but uses a lot of his mana to get in and out. Now he's in some trouble. Tempest ultimate onto just Parasite. He gets pulled out of it though, and Parasite dies, but now Tempest is in a lot of trouble. He's going to fall here. They do pick off Moa in the background. Kelfield onto a couple, but the Shackle there actually will kills Naui, as I believe the Elementals finish off Torturer there. Off to the side, it looks like Doctor's trying to chase down this War Beast, who's out of ulti form, pops the power supply. And Shell Surf there will help finish him off, so poor baby finishes off that War Beast and ends up being a 3 for 3, as probably Hellborn are coming out on top of that. Ravener really needs to survive at this point just because his farm is so bad, but Doctor's the most important hero for the Hellborn by quite a lot. So the fact that he lived and got at least one kill, I think, in that fight is pretty important. Hag living for a Legion, though, obviously a pretty big deal, and War Beast dying as well. Not the greatest thing. He has picked up a Shrunken Head, so that'll help him quite a lot now with the ultimate. Basically can't be locked down, as there are no superior magic stuns, just the Tempest Elemental Void, which is relatively easy to cancel for this Legion team. Obviously, Nelson will stop the face hug from Parasite, but he can just use a Leech to take that off. Tempest going to get Shrunken Head really to do a lot, and I'm once again unsure as to whether that hook will stop his Tempest ultimate during the Shrunken Head. I suspect it won't. So once he has a Shrunken, he can't be interrupted. The issue then is positioning. So whether he'll get a portal key on top of that is the question, I think. If he does get a portal key, obviously the jump potential can be very high. And did Prisoner actually get that? Yeah. So Doctor tried to grab it, but Prisoner took it. Mid-tower falls pretty easily, as we've already quite low. Bubbles farming up top. 4 heroes grouped up here for mid, and Parasite's off in this Wolf looking for a jump onto somebody. Ravener's on level 11. He does have Vestments, so he probably would survive considering the 1400 health. Just not enough burst here from Para. Tempest off in the jungle, as Vestments as well, and 1400 health, so again, probably would survive. Looking for that Master, looking for Bubbles maybe. Goo coming out. Little stops in this push a little bit. Elder Parasite on Prisoner, going to help him take this tower down, and going to be an easy push. So that's the secondary tower kill. Up top, tower going down thanks to Bubbles and Doctor, so it's going to be a trade. A little favor of Legion as the mid tower tends to be more valuable. And now Legion are going to turn out and start to farm these woods, but 27 minutes in, this is a remarkably even game in terms of resources, and I think the Legion are okay with that. Look at the GPM charts here. There is strong farm on everybody except for Torture. I mean, Parasite's farm is okay. It's 300 gold per minute. It's not the greatest, but like it's not bad by any means. And everybody else is 350 plus. So they've got farm on everybody at this point, and with the Warbeast and Hag plus the Prisoner locking people down, I would not be surprised if they manage to win this with the late game carries. The only one to check is 225 physical damage and 2.5 seconds stun and pulled toward the Prisoner. So this may or may not be a physical stun, so that might actually also cancel the Tempest ultimate, and with the portal key on Prisoner, it could be pretty easy to do. So to be honest with you, I don't think the Null Stone made a lot of sense. It's just like, it's not going to stop anything of value. I mean, it'll stop the face hug if Parasite is completely unaware that there's a Null Stone, but by now he knows it's there, so he's going to leech before anything, assuming it's not already been taken off by like Agonizing Bonds or Haunt or something, another low value spell. And I mean, the Null Stones basically do nothing. There aren't enough spells here. Like, I think it does make sense if every spell that the Legion had were high value, but that's just not the case. And it is a strong farming tool too. I mean, like that's important to recognize. The issue is Ring of Sorcery and Astrolabe basically gets you the same thing for about half the price, and he already has a Ring of Sorcery anyway. So, I don't know, I think a Null Stone is a little bit of an underrated item. We don't see it very often, and we probably should see it more often, but not really a situation right now, I think, that warrants it. The only way that it would make sense is if it does stop the Prisoner ultimate, and I don't know if it does. I suspect it doesn't. Master's Call going on to Doctor here. He's looking for the jump on a Hag, which he just blinks away. And Legion farming their own woods, Hellborn farming their woods. So once again, we seem to have team fights and then about 2.5 minutes of nothing happening. Warbeast perhaps looking for a jump here on Bubbles. With the experience for a minute, Doctor doing very well actually off to the side. Sequence will pick off Master. Once again, I don't know why every single time that I do that, Prisoner has to yell. Ravener looking for the ball lightning, won't find it. It is only level 11. Has to be a little bit careful about this, especially because Prisoner's here. Doctor coming in will help finish off this Parasite, and that's an easy kill. Prisoner not feeling like he should go in, but he is getting a spot out here. Portal key just before the shell surf hits, so he'll be fine. Hasted Doctor is running around, looking for something perhaps. Maybe like a Concord, or maybe an Ancient Kill, maybe a Warbeast. You never know. So Shrunken Hag will be Doctor's next item. That's fine. It'll stop most of Hag and Parasite's damage at this point, and a lot of Torturers as well. Not so much Prisoner and Warbeast. I really would have preferred the Icon or Grimoire early. I think those are the two items you get for Doctor as your first item. Hellflower is fine, it's just not good enough. Because you know, the Icons, if you want to gank more, if you want to do a lot of team fighting, it makes your regen amazing. And the Grimoire is more like, I'm going to farm the jungle. So depending on how your team is composed, you might want either one. I think in this situation, Icon was probably the right choice. I see why he wanted the Hellflower. I just don't think it made a lot of sense in the situation. It does provide a fair bit of regen, but not as much as Icon or Grimoire would have, and not as much damage really either. It helps locking down heroes, but you know, his thing is with enough mana, Hag can blink all she wants. Like, he's just gonna catch her. Regardless, looks like Bubbles is saving up for that Shape Stick. And has an ultimate orb already on top of the portal key, so standard really build for him as he goes blink into a CC tool. Ravener has a Shrunken early on. probably the wrong choice for him. Portal Key makes a lot of sense. I don't know if I would have gone Shrunken with a Ravener with this low farm. 260 gold per minute, not really the best. Either the Dawnbreaker to enhance the farm. I understand that there's a lot of heroes farming on the map right now, so perhaps that wouldn't have been the best call. But that is an option to do quite a bit of damage, as well as increase your farm. More importantly, Shrunken Head isn't going to do that much against this team, as Doctor puts a Shrunken and a Hellflower onto Pestilence, who's going to take a lot of damage here. Will perhaps drop. Nope. Going to look to reinitiate on him over here, and he will die, no question. One more auto attack is it. So now he falls in the meantime, as Kelpfield goes on to 2-ball Hag, and Warbeast getting caught. Warbeast activates the ultimate and the Shrunken Head. A couple easy kills there, and the Tempest ultimate hitting everybody as the Portal Key is awesome. But Doctor is already dead. So is Master. Not enough damage follow-up. Warbeast just going to run away. Hag is here. They're chasing Tempest down. Doctor buys back, comes in, kills the Hag, and now Printer's going to run away going, oh crap, this is a bad idea. Bubbles and Warbeast going at it. Will kill Warbeast. Off to the side, Prisoner continuing to run. Has the Yellow Parasite active. Has a Portal Key available. Will port off to the side, and he should be alright. So buyback from Doctor next, 1 kill. Hoping to turn that fight around. Probably not a bad idea. 437 GPM now. Tempest continuing to chase this Prisoner. Has Portal Key back up though, so he'll be alright. Doctor now looking to get a tower kill on bot. He's level 21, that should be noted. He's 3 levels higher than anybody else in the game. Sorry, 2, just 2. Tempest is 19, I thought he was lower. What that obviously means it was a very expensive buyback. And definitely has the Shrunken, but I think Tempest Elemental Void was fantastic. Issue is he's got to do that before Doctor dies. That's just because there wasn't a lot of damage coming out after Doctor died. And that's another issue I had really with the Ravener Shrunken Head, is he does not do a lot of damage. Auto attack damage, 122 to 130, 35 minutes in the game, not very much. So he'll be able to avoid a lot of damage from the Parasite Wretched Hag. But I don't really think that was the issue for him. I think his issue is damage output. Shrunken Head now picked up onto Tempest, on top of the Portal Key Nullstone. So once again, his farm very strong, 404 gold per minute. And he's going to be, I think, impossible to stop now. Ludicrous speed there will help clean up these Ancients on top of Master's Goo. Bubbles getting 1 or 2 CS in fact, so does Master. Refresh going to be picked up by Bubbles, who now has the Acolyte Staff, so just looking for the Mana Tube, and that's another 600 gold or so. So that Blink Sheep could be very powerful, obviously, especially onto that Warbeast. Oops. So we'll see what Ravener goes for next. I think the Dawnbringer is a solid option at this point. So is really any auto attack item. Bash could work for a little more lockdown, especially considering the mobility of Hag and Warbeast. Just one more thing to make them less able to get away. Helm of the Victim picked up. So it might be Sanitarius. Hook gonna miss Tempest there. Nice attempt, but I'm thinking in Sanitarius here from Ravener. Actually, don't mind that either. That's a pretty solid item. Can activate it in the middle of a Tempest ultimate, do a bunch of damage. Off to the side, gonna put the Hex and the Hellflower onto Hag. They will get the kill, just barely with the Hellfield. 3 at last comes out, and Shrunken Head's going off all over the place. Parasite trying to do something. Tempest ultimate onto 3. And that's huge. They get the kill into sequence, doing a bunch of damage to Prisoner and Warbeast. They're both going to fall. Torture trying to pour it out. He will do so. So huge temp ult. Always fun to see that. And that's what happens when Doctor stays alive. Now, if he had a Icon of the Goddess, then he would have gotten a bunch of charges and health back, and he would be that much harder to kill. Every single one of those team fights where that happened, he would get stronger and stronger, and eventually it just got to the point where you couldn't kill him anymore. They're going to turn this into a Convoy kill, which is probably the right decision, as they can't really push a secondary tower here. Their pushing isn't that good. I mean, they could push one if they want to, especially with Tempest dead. It's going to be a lot harder. So I believe that ended up being a 4 for 2. Now a Tempest as well. Token almost assuredly going to this Doctor. This Convoy's not even dying all that slowly. I think now he knows what's going on, but obviously there's nothing he can do. He tries to jump in there, he's gonna die. So Doctor picks up that token, has 5k gold saved up, as he's at 503 gold per minute all of a sudden. So he's just massively expanding his farm rather quickly. Nobody else even over 400. And he's going to become a problem. So we'll see what he chooses to get. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a second sheep stick. And it looks like, considering how much he's saving up, it's got to what it's going to be. Insanitary is finished on Ravener. So he'll be a lot more dangerous in terms of right click, which I think is definitely what he needs to go for. That damage is going to finally come out from him, and Tempest Ultimate can be a lot more powerful now that he's got multiple damage threats, not just that Doctor. So even if one of them dies, he can still turn that into a strong team fight and a strong ultimate if Ravener or Doctor is alive at this point. I think they're going to go Sheepstick here on Doctor, and I don't really like that. I think he just needs auto attack damage at this point. We're 38 minutes into this game, and the additional lockdown is really good, but they also didn't do that very well. I think they put the Sheepstick and Hellflower both on that Wretched Hag. So if they had some issues communicating like that, I'm concerned about whether they're going to overlap again, and if they do, obviously, it's a lot less effective. But we'll see. Almost, I think at this point, it's basically guaranteed Doctor's going for a Sheepstick. He's got 5,600 gold. It's also very possible he's just waiting for a buyback and his item, but with a token on, I probably wouldn't do that. I'd be like, just get your item. It's going to be a Frostfield Plate. So that is defensive more than offensive. Bubbles putting the Sheepstick onto Torture will easily get the kill. Chip will taunt. Invis Prisoner over here has no health, but it's going to jump onto this Bubbles, put the Shrunken Head up. Take cover goes off. No avail of Shell Surf, and it just immediately gets bursted. So Shrunken Head cooldown used. So Doctor off to the side, going to jump onto this Prisoner, and he's going to drop. Now Doctor activates the Shrunken and is like, bye. So does Warbeast, actually. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. Probably in favor of the Hellborn there, as anything that gets Doctor a kill a little bit better now. Frostfield Plate, real interesting. I mean, that's a pretty heavy defensive item here. It has some offensive capability and it's slow. And the attack speed debuff is nice, but again, that's defensive really more than it is offensive. Interesting. That wasn't even close in my mind. Doctor gonna jump here onto this Parasite. Ball Lightning there to help finish him off. That's an easy kill. Chain Reactors to hit Doctor, who is now out of mana, but he'll be fine. So Prisoner is back alive, having bought out. And Hellborn will get that mid tower, will get the pick onto sequence, and get the hell on out of there as they're up 10.5k gold and 15k experience. Gonna take the Ancients here. Prisoner's gonna jump in all by himself. Not a good idea, buddy. Hag is here as well, so perhaps he's gonna try to do this. Prisoner now taking so much damage from that Insanitarius. Ultimate from Tempest, locking Hag and Torturer down. Hag goes, here comes Torturer Death. Warbeast activates the ultimate and guns in and quickly realizes that's probably not a great idea. So 3-4 heroes dead for the Legion now, and Hellborn can probably push this base in a little bit. 27 seconds to shortest cooldown, so they'll at least get a base tower here, I think. As I'm not sure that Legion can do anything about that. The Rax they might be able to stop. Token, of course, still is here on Doctor, so even if Parasite comes back and bursts him down, he still will die, or will come back and be alright. This is definitely going to be a mid-tower kill. We'll see if they actually turn it into racks. With how fast it's going despite the glyph, I think they're going to be racks here as well. They just have to sacrifice the token on Doctor, and I would be more than willing to do that. Actually, Parasite is just back now. And here goes the creep wave. Racks are getting down as well. Parasite, I think, realizing the token's on Doctor, trying to knock it off. Codex there, not going to be enough. And 251 left on this. So, like, if you're going to do this, man, if you're going to use your abilities, knock that token off. Nope. So Doctor still has the token, and he'll be able to use that in another push. Hellborn taking a pretty significant advantage at this point. I think the game is theirs to lose. As that Doctor is getting out of control, 550 gold per minute. Lightbrand is picked up on Rav. I waited till 40 minutes to do that. I don't know why. I don't get what they felt on both Doctor and Rav that a Shrunken Head was so important. And the Tempest clearly didn't feel that way. He went Nullstone into Portal Key into Shrunken. So he was clearly not on the same page of, oh god, I need to stop this magic damage. I think that's the right call. I mean, it's not like the Legion's magic damage is that prohibitive. They don't have that many stuns. They basically just got the one reliable one from Torture. And Prisoner Ultimate's just not up enough to call that a reliable stun. They have the silence from Parasites and plenty of burst from him and Hag, but it's just not like that's. I don't think it's that big a deal. It's not that important in terms of magic output to be like, oh, I need a Shrunken, especially from a hero like Doctor. That's just like, if you're not going to stun or silence me, and you only have 2 of those, so there's a reasonable chance I won't eat one of them and I'll be able to get out of the fight. So why do I need a Shrunken? Because I'll still be mobile. Tier 1 tower is actually still alive somehow, but they will wreck this. Because I didn't even realize they still had the Tier 1 up on top. Hellborn are going to respond to this with a bot tower push on the secondary here. Should get it pretty easily. Legion are going to turn this into a bit of a base race and take this top secondary super fast. Glyph goes out, slowing them down a little bit, but it's going to still be a top tower kill. And they're going to have to run back here and defend their base because the entire Hellborn team is here. They're going to destroy this bot tower really quickly. Glyph obviously down already. Prisoner doesn't have a port. He needs to go in here and buy one. And this is going to be a bot Rax as well as a mid one. So bad play here from Legion. Doctor jumping in. Ball Lightning actually misses. Shrunken Head's going off all over the place. Tempest ultimate locking down too. He does get cancelled, but now he dies first. So does Sequence. And Prisoner now getting chased down. He's going to die as well. Bat Blast onto a couple. But now Doctor's like, whatever, you can kill me if you want, I got a token. Prisoner Ultimate only actually hitting 1, but there's a take cover as well. And Sequence dies again. Doctor running around, gonna get the kill onto Warbeast. And he's on a bloodbath streak. Gonna get locked down a little bit here, taking a bunch of damage, but there goes Nowy once again. Quad kill, gonna look for the Annihilation. As the buyback, it's buyback city here from Legion. And it's gonna end up with, once again, bot Rax. Shackle there helps kill him down, but the Tempest ultimate comes back thanks to the Refresher Stone. Gonna see an Annihilation? Yep. Possibly an Immortal. Glacial Blasts onto that Prisoner. Not enough range to help kill him. As always said, Harkons from Doctor doing a lot, but he's gonna drop now. Trying to get the last one. I think that next one was his Immortal. 1, 2, 3. No, he was a couple away. So Annihilation, offensive GG's being called, and then there's the CC vote. So not a surprise, 2 lanes down here, Doctor's just becoming out of control, and they're going to CC this game. Hellborn playing pretty well this game, but so did Legion, really, a very even game until the end there, and Doctor just got out of control, and Legion weren't able to counter, Hag not being able to counter this Doctor as well as they were able to counter her. The Hellflower and the Sheepstick really locking her down a lot, and Ravner getting an Insanitary, so they helped quite a bit. He turned into an actual threat at the end of the game compared to the just thing he was earlier. So game 1 going to the guys here on Walrusnet, while Inklin, aka the Law, on the Legion side will go down 0-1 in this quarterfinal match, and that'll do it. Let's move on to game 2.